Can I just say how hot it is today? Good, welcome you guys back to my channel, Nene Blobs. So today I'm coming back with another wrap-up. This time it's the last wrap-up of this year, which is my December wrap-up of 2016. What? It's like December. It's finished. Like, December's finished. What? Unthinkable things. I was really proud of the amount of books I read this year. I feel like it's more than my usual amount. It was holiday, so I had more time, and I'm just really happy with everything I read. The first book that I read was The Book Thief by Marcus Zusak, and I'm showing you the back. The first book that I read this month was The Book Thief by Marcus Zusak. This is about a German girl during the Second World War. At the beginning, she goes through a tragic time and is kind of left an orphan. She's sent to a family of a mother and father, and there she learns new things about the war and also herself, and also she starts stealing books and it becomes something very dear to her. So things happen, and it's really interesting because it's in the perspective of death, which I found really unique and different than the usual war stories. So I really love this historical fiction story and book, and I give it 5 out of 5 stars. Next is a book that I'm not gonna name because it's actually on my laptop, and it was emailed to me by one of my friends who took part in NaNoWriMo, which I found was so lucky, and she finished her first draft of her book. So I read it on the way from my house to the sea where we had holiday, and also that night, and I count this as a book because it is a full book. It has a beginning, middle and end, and I really found her book adventurous and fun to read. So this month I finished the Mortal Instrument series with City of Heavenly Fire by Cassandra Clare. This is the 6th book of the Mortal Instrument series and the 9th book in the Shadowhunter world that I've read, and I found this book really good. I enjoyed it. Some parts I did find was too much, but besides those parts I loved it. I love the story, being in this world again, and seeing the characters from the Infernal Devices come here in this book, and I'm just like, yay! I was so excited for it, and Cassandra Clare is just such a good writer. I found the story really good, the plot, and also finding out more about characters, and the ending was also cool. The surprises in this book was fun. And yeah, I recommend the series. If you have not read the series, go and start it right now, and you will definitely fall in love with the characters and the world. I gave this book 4.5 out of 5 stars. So after ending a series, what should you do? Start a new one. So I started Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children by Ransom Riggs. This was a really good book. This is about a boy who goes through an event which puts him in this world where there are children that have abilities, and he finds out more about the world and his past, and also goes on adventures with the kids, and yeah, I just really loved it. It's the first book of the trilogy, so I'm excited to read the second one. I love the style and also the pictures inside, and the cover is just also really good. Oh. And yeah, the story was so good, and I recommend this. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. So after many recommendations by Hailey in Bookland, or Hailey in Bookland, not quite sure about the name, but it will be in the description. Her channel will be in the description below. I finally picked up Alice's Adventures in Wonderland and Through the Looking Glass by Lewis Carroll. This book, what can I say? Okay, so this is about Alice who falls down a rabbit hole and falls into Wonderland, where there are many creative and crazy creatures and people, and they are just so fun. This world, Wonderland, is just the best world. I fell in love with it. That's like one of my favorite worlds, and I love this book because she had such a childlike personality, and she spoke to herself, which which wasn't actually the weirdest things in this book. It was so weird and whimsical, and sometimes it didn't make sense, but it is just a really good book. If you're looking for a fast, fun read, I really recommend this book, and I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. Then I read 2 books that is historical fiction that took place in the Second World War. The first one was The Promise by Eva Schloss and Barbara Powers. This is about a family who goes through the struggles of the Second World War. I really loved the family aspect of it because the family aspect in this book was really strong, and the main character was just a really good perspective to be in. So yeah, recommend this book. And this cover, can I just talk about this cover? This is like the most amazing cover. I love the color. I love this, like the hanging like necklace. It's just so pretty. The second book was The Silver Sword by Ian Serralier, and this is also during the Second World War. This book is about a family who gets parted in the Second World War. I think they're from Poland, so they get parted. The father is taken, the mother is taken, and most of the story is in the perspective of the children. So I really loved how all the characters started to entwine. And in this book you see one of the cases of a girl who had to grow up really fast and take care of her younger siblings. So I thought it was really interesting, and I loved the whole concept. Then came the end of the month, and I was stuck deciding what should I read. Like, should I start a new series? Should I go on with the series? Should I start new books? Then I watched my video of my favorite books for 2016, and I just decided, why don't I reread Redeeming Love by Francine Rivers. So I reread it. It's my all-time favorite book, and I am so happy I reread it. This is a retelling of Hosea in the Bible. It's a Christian book, and it's just amazing, like really good. It's about a girl who is sold into prostitution at a young age, and now we see her years later. Things happened. This guy sees her in the street, and he hears God's voice saying that that is his wife. So first he doesn't know what to make of it, and then the whole story plays out, and it's just so good. Rereading it the second time is just the best. I think I can reread this like 5 times. After finishing it today, I was just like, can't I reread it again? Would that be weird? Every time I read this, I fall in love with the characters again. I love Michael. I love Angel, and I feel so bad for everything she had to go through. It's just a super good book, and I recommend this so much. It's also a romance, so for all those romance lovers. And it's just a very different romance, but it is a romance, and yeah, I recommend this so much. Please pick this book up. You would really enjoy it. So those are the 8 books that I read this month. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and comment down below your favorites that you read this month. And if you're new to my channel, please subscribe. I would really appreciate it. Okay, see you guys next time. Blob!